to take the blood out of this country. Gonna suck the blood out of you, him, me, and all of us, man. You got to go. They got a right to shoot Martin Luther. They got a right to shoot Martin Luther, and they got a right to shoot John Kennedy. We got a right to shoot him. He cuts us off. We cut him off.
No, we're not
Yeah,
with
yeah,
violence.
man.
Nah.
We're not with violence, but violence is coming.
They spilling my blood. I got spilled everywhere.
I don't know.
We gotta go into the race wars. We gotta go into the race wars. We gotta go into this violence. Hey, but we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Qadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Greatmillstone for teaching us His truth according to the Bible in the spirit and power of Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashi. Right, and Edomite, he could be in confusion to face a Gentile, Israelite that doesn't know he's an Israelite, or it goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? Or he can just be an Edomite, but he just was talking about blood about to be spilled in America, you know? Hey, these people are getting robbed, you know? That's, hey, the prophecies are coming to pass. It says the love of many shall wax cold, you know? Hey, it even says in 2nd Esdras, that's where the Spirit's going. 2nd Esdras, that not gonna regard those kings or princes.
I got a Zephaniah 3 and 8.
Come on, let's get it.
All right, this is Zephaniah 3 and 8. Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy.
John, we're not condoning any violence. You know, if you're an Israelite and you're trying to put hands on Edomites, or you know, trying to start something out here, you know, you're not with us. You're not a part of us. You know, because we don't condone any type of violence. We're not condoning violence against these Ammonites or these Amalekites. You know, we're not a part of any of that. You know, we condone no violence. You know, we waiting upon the Lord. Let's get that scripture one more time.
This is Zephaniah chapter 3 verse 8. Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all.
Hey, we're waiting for the Most High to put all His, to put them in the checkmate, you know? Before that, we have no power, you know? We're going to get that spiritual power. We're going to be rise up to take down these nations when the Most High is ready to do that, to give us that, you know? When it's not of us.
Even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy.
Of His jealousy, you know? Because this is His story, you know. We just gotta play our part, you know, and that's to push this word, you know. That's the spiritual power we have right now, is to push this word. It's not to put hands on Edomites or collect guns, you know, or what you gonna do, buy a tank? Like, it's silly, you know. We have no power here, but in this word, you know. So focus on this word, you know. The sword is not our blessing, you know.
True spiritual men really hate guns. True
Con.
But
it says the spirit is enmity with the Most High. I mean the
carnality. This is Romans chapter 8 verse 7. Well, I'm sorry, 6. Slack, I'm sorry, 5.
The flesh is enmity. Yeah, Con.
This is Romans chapter 8 verse 5. For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the Spirit, the things of the Spirit. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Because the carnal mind is enmity against thy power, for it is not subject to the law of God, neither indeed can be.
Neither indeed can be. You know, that's why when we strive for the Spirit, we do things that cut off the flesh. You know, like fasting and such. You know, praying and such. You know, because we're getting closer to the Spirit, we're cutting off the flesh. They go against each other. you know? And now here comes the cars.
Here come the loud cars, the music. It's kind of... These devils think they slick, man.
Hey, let's get... It's just it's the spirit that comes around us, you know? They understand what we're here for, you know? That we're out here condemning the 2/3, the America, you know, these Edomites, all these other nations, you know, that's what we're doing. But let's start at 2nd Ezra 15. We might have to
Start
move.
at the top. We'll be alright. It's just freaking right now.
Okay.
Start at the top. Okay. All right. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee.
Right? Like I always say when this scripture comes out, incredulity means unbelief, you know?
For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore, saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. And therefore, saith the Lord, I will surely avenge them, and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that God shall bring upon it. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blasting in hell, and with a fearful constellation. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the
Let me get scripture real quick. This is 1 Peter 4 and 17. Let me start at 16 actually. It says, yet if any man suffer as a Christian, right, as anointed, let him not be ashamed, but let him glorify Yahawah on this behalf. For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of the Most High, and if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of the Most High? And if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? Wherefore let them that suffer according to the will of the Most High commit the keeping of their souls to Him in well-doing as unto a faithful Creator. You know, so if you're going against the order, that's not being faithful. You know, if you're trying to establish your own righteousness, that's not being faithful. You know, we got to trust in Yahawah, Hashem, Yahawashi on all aspects, because we're seeing that this judgment is coming. You know, and it's coming fast.
And no matter what you do, we still in hell.
Gone.
Right?
Gone. Hey, actually, I have to go up one. 1 Peter 4 and 15. It says, but let none of you suffer as a murderer, or as a thief, or as an evildoer, or as a busybody in other men's matters. You know, so we're not going to be out here killing anybody, you know, stealing from anybody. We're keeping the commandments to the best of our ability, you know, because that's what we've been instructed to do. All right, let's keep going in it.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 15. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city, and shall not be able.
That's martial law. That's as plain as it can get, you know?
For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation.
Precept. This is James 5:1. It says, "Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasure together for the last days." It says, "Behold, the hire of your laborers, which have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth, and the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth." Because what? We're still servants in this land, right? "Ye have lived in pleasure on the earth and been wanton," right? That's dealing with the flesh, you know, living in pleasure. "Ye have nourished your hearts as in a day of slaughter." Ye have condemned in a day of slaughter is when, because in the ancient world, when they slaughtered the animals, you know, that's when the party started, you know? Because they didn't have refrigerators and such, so it had to be fresh, you know? Or they would have to salt it, but you wanted it fresh, you know? A fresh kill. It says, "Ye have condemned and killed the just, and he doth not resist you." Right? "Be patient therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord. Behold, the husbandman waiteth for the precious fruit of the earth, and have long patience for it, until he receive the early and latter rain. Be ye also patient, establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord draweth nigh." That's what we're supposed to do, establish our hearts, right? Which is our minds, you know? You know, because we can't be focused on war tactics. You know, this is the only thing we're supposed to be focused on. You know, who's gonna be the general in the race war armies? That's not us. You know, we're not a part of that at all. You know, or who's gonna kick off the race war? We're not a part of that. We just know what's gonna happen. You know,
Because the scriptures tell us.
Con.
Right? That's why we know.
Con.
But the Holy Spirit's working with us.
Con, you already hear in these precepts that the rich men, they're gonna get it regardless. You know, they're not gonna be delivered regardless. You know. But you have a chance to be delivered. You know. Let's keep getting it.
Okay, this is 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 20. "Behold, saith," I'm just going to read it verbatim, "saith God, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me, which are from the rising of the sun, from the south, from the east, and Libanus, to turn themselves one against another, and repay the things that they have done to them. Like as they do yet this day unto my chosen, so will I do also, and recompense in their bosom. Thus saith the Lord thy power, my right hand shall not spare the sinners, and my sword shall not cease over them that shed innocent blood upon the earth."
Kind of scripture. It's going into that World War III scripture, you know, where the kings of the earth, you know, coming together to repay. Revelation 17, verse 16. Or I'm gonna start at 14. It says, "These shall make war." Oh, Salaki, I gotta go up. This is Revelation 17, verse 8. It says, "The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is," right? Which is talking about the Roman Empire, right? And And here is the mind which have wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth. Right? And there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and 1 is. Right? It says, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. Right? The 5 fallen are the Greek, Spanish, Germanian Major, Germanian Minor, and French. The 1 is the Roman Empire. Right? It's going into a little history.
The rain doesn't bother me, but I don't want.
Yeah, that's the scripture.
I mean, my phone is gonna be waterproof. I don't know.
Yeah, mine has got a life-proof on it.
Okay, current.
But I don't
Put these in the witness.
Now listen. So you just want to put these in there and we're just gonna go off here?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. If you can I finish this out and you take it there?
Current.
This is the key. This is it. Can I take that? Yeah. Revelation 17 and 11, it says, and the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7, and goeth into perdition. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast, right? And we know that's of the EU. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is the Lord of lords and kings of kings, which is talking about Yahawashi, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful, right? Talking about the angels and such like that, right? And it says, and he saith unto me, the waters which thou saw, and it's talking about us. It says, the waters which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth, are people and multitudes and nations and tongues. Right? And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. Right? And that's what's gonna happen. You know? It's gonna hate the whore. Right? And that's what's happening right now. Right? The EU, they hate America, you know, from the customs of America. Right? It says, and shall make her desolate and naked, because they're going to send nuclear missiles over here to America too, right? And destroy this place. And shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. For the Most High hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. And that woman is talking about America, right? Yeah. I'm thinking we had to move over there. Something like that. Yeah, let's go back there.
Can we just move it like this, or should we take it off?
Let's just take it like that.
Hey, you too, man.
Yeah, we're still gonna be here. Yeah. We're gonna be here. We're here every Sunday. We're just moving over there.
Yeah.
True.
Mine might be a Jake. You never know.
Yeah,
you never know. But yeah,
Very carnal.
yeah. And can't, especially, it's just weird that he would say that now after what, like, stuff has been going on. Like, nah, we ain't about to co-sign that.
Exactly.
We wouldn't have co-signed it anyway, but we ain't about to co-sign that. It's all on you, buddy. Did you get that whole thing? Was it on?
Gone, it was. I turned it on.
Okay, come. Oh, this thing still, is it still going there?
Gone, it's still going.
Oh, okay, come. Let's go down because isn't where we used to teach at, those spots are okay, right? Like
Yeah, nobody caught over there, but actually,
no, but I'm saying
I caught over there.
No, what I was saying is we can get up under there.
Oh, right here.
Yeah, okay.
We just have to be
Huh.
like this.
Okay.